We're going to start graphing lines today using the slope and y-intercept form. Now, yes, you have a graphing calculator where you could type this equation in and graph it, but we want to know how to do it by hand because often it's quicker than to have to grab the calculator, do it, because it's very simple. So we're going to start here first, and we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. We are going to figure out each number's corresponding y-value. So for example, I have a table over here that corresponds to this graph here. This is function g. Function g takes half of whatever we put in for x and then adds 1. So if I put in a -2, half of -2 is -1 plus 1 more is 0. When I put 0 in, half of 0 is 0 plus 1 is 1. When I put 2 in, half of 2 is 1 plus 1 is 2. When I put 4 in, half of 4 is 2 plus 1 is 3. When I put 6 in, half of 6 is 3 plus 1 is 4. When I put 8 in, half of 8 is 4 plus 1 is 5. All right, now if I go to graph these points, let's get a different color pen here to graph them. Let's see, when I'm at -2, I'm at 0. When I'm at 0, I'm at 1. When I'm at 2, I'm at 2. And I know I'm getting a nice line. When I'm at 4, I'm at 3. Nothing's going awry. When I'm at 6, I'm at 4. And when I'm at 8, I'm at 5. So here we have our line that's graphed. And that was the line g of x. Well, there's something else that we want to point out. We want to know what the slope is and what the y-intercept is. So slope, as most of you have known, is just fancy for a rate of change. It's the change in y value over the change in x value. And I can use any one of these blue points to figure out my slope. So for example, if I pick my easy point right here of 0, 1, and I'll take the point of 2, 2, if I were to figure out the slope, the change in y's, 2 minus 1, over the change in x, 2 minus 0, gets me 1/2. Does that look familiar? There you go. And I could have done that with any one of my points. Now, the y-intercept simply is where the graph crosses the y-axis. And if you know, and look at the graph, let's see, where does it cross the y-axis? Right there. It crosses the y-axis at 1. Oh my goodness. When we look at this, we see that this is the slope and this is the y-intercept. So what we want to see is we have a new form of a line. It's called y equals mx plus b. This is called the slope-intercept form, and you're going to learn about a couple of different types of ways to write a line, but we're going to start off with the easiest one, which is the slope-intercept form. The m is the slope, and the b is the y-intercept. So if we can get any equation into this form, it's going to be very easy to graph. And now you may be asking, where is this y coming from? How come you had g of x and now you have y? Well, technically, when you graph, you use the points x and y. So we went back to y equals just to show you that a function can be written as a set of points. So we don't need to really get that technical about it. All right, so let's try example number 2. First question you ask yourself, is this in the form y, equals mx plus b? Yes, it is. So we're happy when that happens. Let me get this on full screen again. Yes, y, we have our slope, and then we have our y-intercept. So, steps to doing this. We get into the form y equals mx plus b. Done. Find the y-intercept. This is your starting point. Apply the slope to your y-intercept. All right, so let's do all this. We got it into the form y equals mx plus b. It was already that way. Find the y-intercept. All right, so let's clean this up. And I know my y-intercept is this right here. It's b. And notice it says positive 4. So I'm going to go to the y-axis, and I'm going to go to positive 4, and I'm going to put a dot right there. And just to show you again why that's the y-intercept is because this is the point 0 for x and 4 for y. And if I put a 0 in here for x, you can see that the y-intercept is 4. All right, so now we've got our starting point. The last thing is to apply our slope. So once again, let me clean this up over here. And my slope is negative 3/5. And remember, slope is the change in y over the change in x. So it's telling me to change my y position by negative 3 and to change my x position by positive 5. So if I start over here, I'm going to change my y position, and y's go counting this way. So 1, 2, 3. I went down 3, and now change my x position by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my new point. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now some of you may have said, well, what if I figured out that the negative should have gone on the bottom? Does that make a difference? How about if I had 3 over negative 5? Well, this is telling me to change my y position by positive 3, 1, 2, 3, but then change my x position by negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, look at that. I still get my straight line. So, voila. I have a straight line. I can't draw a straight line. That's a whole nother story. And there is my equation of y equals negative 3/5 x plus 4. And if we check any one of these points, they will work in this equation. So I'm just going to pick a point. I'm going to pick this point right here where the x value is 5 and the y value is 1. So negative 3/5 x value is 5 plus 4 should get me 1. The 5's cancel out. Negative 3 plus 4, 1 equals 1. See, any point on the line is going to work. So how about this one? I'm going to re-grab my steps. And I'm going to go through my steps. Is this in the form y equals mx plus b? Yes, it is. Y equals mx plus b. Beautiful. Find the y-intercept. This is your starting point. There's my y-intercept. This time I'm starting at -3. Apply your slope. Well, now my slope is -0.4. All right, well, my slope, if I come back to it, means the change in y over the change in x. And I have -0.4. Well, I like it when my slope's a fraction. Oh, 0.4, that means 4/10. So 4/10. 4/10 reduces down to -2/5. Okay, that wasn't that bad. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to change my y value by -2, 2 positions down, and my x value is going to change by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my line. Again, can't draw a straight line. This is the line, y equals -0.4 x minus 3. All right, this is not bad until I get to this. Get into the form y equals mx plus b. Well, this is definitely not the form y equals mx plus b. That means I have to get my y alone. So we've got to do some rearranging here. Okay, 2y equals, I'll bring this 3x over, and when I bring it over to the other side, it becomes negative. And I'm going to put it where I want it, leading. This was 10, so it's +10. I'm still not in the form y equals. Here, this is the form 2y equals. So I have to divide by 2, and if 1 gets divided by 2, they all get divided by 2. Y equals -3 divided by 2 I can't do, so I leave it as a friendly fraction. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Hey, that wasn't that hard. It just took me a couple extra steps. All right, so let's graph. Find the y-intercept. 5. Apply our slope. Oh, we have another negative slope going on here. Wow, we had a lot of negative slopes going on here. Down 3, because remember, it's the change in y position over the change in x position. It's our average rate of change, which we're going to study more in this chapter. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And just because I have room, I can go even further. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And this time, because I want it to look purty, I'm going to actually use a line. And I'm going to draw that line through my points. Beautiful. And just to make sure it's perfect, I always label that this is the line, and I give it its name, which was 3x plus 2y equals 10. And once again, just so I can prove to you, if I clean this all up, that if I pick any point on this line, it works in this equation. So let's say I pick the point, this one right here. This is the point 4, -1. So if I were to put 4 in for x and -1 in for y, the equation would give me truth. 12 plus -2 get me 10. Yep, 10 equals 10. See, if I picked any point that's not on the line, it's obviously not going to work. So if I pick the point 5, 0. Put 5 in for x, 0 in for y. 15 plus 0 get me 10? Nope. So that's why I was big about shading. Shading tells the truth, and by drawing this line, you're shading in all the points that work in this equation. All right, so here are some key points. Please take time to pause this video. This is the end, and look at this. Now, we have to know that the form to do y-intercept has to be in the form y equals mx plus b. We need to know that the m stands for slope, the b stands for y-intercept, and as we saw, negative slopes, the lines look like this. Positive slopes, which we didn't have many of, I don't think we had any. Let me quickly look. That was negative. That was negative. That was negative. Oh, the first one we did was positive. Okay, so a positive slope goes off to the right. So please write this all down. I expect to see it tomorrow in your notes when I do a note check. Bye.